Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and I hope you are well. Happy Monday to you. Hello, Napalm. Hope it's a great day so far. It's been a fun one for me. Turn down, turn down, turn down. Let's just get right into it after I move my current research stuff off screen. Holy cow, I have a lot of stuff open. Close this. Jiminy. Speaking of, the current window we are looking out of is in California. It does look really dreary, and it actually does kind of look dreary here today too. This was May of this year. What a nice looking area with these little benches. I like it. I like it a lot. Just watching out for you. Awesome. I appreciate it. Ooh. Itchy. Okay. Is my desktop the right display? Yes. I just recently updated OBS, so I wanted to make sure that it didn't update any of my settings. It looks like all of the audio is coming through fine, using the right display as the primary display. So here we go. This is bright. Why aren't any of the tabs over here dark mode? So yeah, so what we have been working on the stream on Mondays and Wednesdays is a project called the Financial Management Tracker. We've already done all of the core logic implementation stuff, and lately we've been working on redesigning the UI for it. We're mostly done with the landing page. Right now we have implemented, for the most part, this design here, and we're going to continue our journey in adding the responsiveness to it. So I'm getting the project open. And hello, Mojo. Hello, Mojo. Nice. There's a still of me with my hand on my face. Kind of looks like a forehead. Anyway, Finance Man. Okay, so this project is open source. It is on GitHub. You can see it at the link there if you're interested. There's absolutely no requirement to or expectation or anything, but it's there if you're interested. We're on a branch called, you can open so I can pull you over to the main screen. Come on, you can do it. I did. And I still have the community day marquee going. There we go. All right, thank you. Okay, get rid of this. We are on a branch called Task 52 Revamp Layout. And again, it's there if anyone is interested in contributing to, but I mean, again, this is really kind of a selfish project for me anyway, because I want to start using this in place of the Access database that I have been using to track my finances manually. And I just figured it might be interesting, or there might be other people interested in using an application like this as well. So I'll open source it. I'll make it fun for the stream. But as soon as we're done with this project, which there are a few things left in the project, I will be going back to doing my day job work on stream. Not necessarily as long of streams as they used to be. I'm trying to get this thing to tab and it's being all slow and it's making my brain lag. Stop it. So We'll be going back to my regular day job work, and I'll stream that, which means that I could probably stream it more often. When do we start getting your game dev stream though? That would be never. Like, even if I started working in Unity, it would be for spatial applications, spatial computing applications, mostly productivity type or business applications. Yeah, I think you're on the wrong stream. So the music, yes, but the Godot development, not in the cards. I do apologize for an inconvenience that may cause you. However, that is not on my list of things that I'm interested in. Duka soft, and hello, Juan Von. I think I'm on the right stream. Thank you. You're definitely on the right stream. It's FOSS. What is FOSS? FOSS. Fully open source software. I don't really know what the F in FOSS stands for. I did really enjoy that conversation. I think I alienated a bunch of people. We'll convince him eventually. Yeah, that one's not going to work out so well in your favor. Till someone takes it to copyright. Yeah, that was kind of part of the discussion too, but I don't think I really communicated everything, so I am gonna continue the conversation in Discord, but specifically in the personality role. That way, only people who opt into seeing that kind of discussion are going to be the ones that are engaged in it. I don't want to force it on other people, especially since our stream is mostly around software development. And while this topic is adjacent, it's kind of leaning more towards personalities and human behavior and all of that stuff. So yeah, don't want to bog anyone down with that. But I do really appreciate the conversations from Friday and the additional stuff that you posted, Mojo. Again, I will respond to that because I'm interested in hearing more about your thoughts on it. Because I do like differing opinions. I want to hear something different than my I have found the right way. That's how it almost always comes across. I found the right way to do it, and I want all of you to adopt this way of doing it. You don't have to, Wanvan. Again, it was potentially alienating to anyone that's not really wanting to discuss. It was around the topic of getting credit for work that you do and why. Yeah, it didn't seem like we disagreed too much, but you do have a different viewpoint on it. So like my viewpoint is I think the world would be a better place if we didn't put so much emphasis and importance on getting credit for work done and had the focus more on can we benefit a large amount of people? And then getting rid of the whole concept of playing the game. But anyway, moving on. Like I said, I'm not going to bog people down with that. We are on this project. This is what it currently looks like, which is really close to the design that the designer gave us. So I'm really happy about that. Stoked, you might say. And Mojo says, I agree, and my point was mostly that there are sources that would agree, but exclamation point focus. I mean, bang focus. Juan Van was saying, someone took photos, put them into the public domain, then Gretty sent them a bill for using their photo. I don't think I've ever heard of that happening. Whoa, Soft isn't software. How have you been? I haven't seen a stream from you for a little while, but that's okay. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the resub. That's a prime sub right there. That's he. Oh. Too busy. Completely understandable. I hope it's not super stressful for you. And if it is, just know that I am sending you some productive energy so that maybe it's not as stressful or you're able to get stuff done. Yeah. It's my favorite ad. Which ad? Soft isn't software. I emailed the office, add in. Oh, add in. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite add dash in. I got it. It's my favorite add in streamer. So Soft isn't software, as Dukasoft gave him a shout out. If you haven't heard of him or seen him, or it's been a while since you've seen him, when he's able to stream, he streams Office add-ins. So add-ins for Office products. He uses Blazor for it, and not stressful, working a lot with Microsoft to get Office.js improvements. So he also does do JavaScript type stuff, which is cool because Office.js is the go-to for doing add-ins now. But he has been experimenting and doing a lot of stuff with Blazor for the add-ins. Like imagine a side panel that shows up and it has a whole bunch of interactions that you can do for a Word document, Excel, any of the Office products. And having that UI in Blazor with the underlying functionality written in C# with Blazor and some JavaScript interop, but really, really cool stuff. Highly recommend if he's able to stream again and you can catch a stream, tuning in, checking him out. But no pressure at all, Soft and Software. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much. Okie dokie, where are we? So this is what the current app looks like. Current redesign looks like for the app. We talked about maybe changing the orientation of where the socials are. What I kind of want is a third toggle for just hiding the names for the socials, because that was another suggestion and I liked it. So let's just go ahead and add that as a toggle option. Do I have any pending changes? I do. What are these pending changes for? The logo SVG. Right. And I pulled in, so I guess you guys didn't see that on stream, but I pulled in the SVG. I talked with the designer over the weekend and they were able to give me just the text portion of the logo as a separate asset so that we can split out the logo here from the text, because the text looks rather small and it doesn't look really good, not very readable. So if I can have the logo the same size and then the text SVG separate, and then I can position them however I want so that it looks more like the design itself. Is that on our stream? Oh no, it's not. I need to turn that down. Cool. So Soft isn't software and Mojo are having a conversation. Soft isn't software responded to that last message saying, I think. Oh, wait. Mojo did follow up on more before Soft isn't software responded, but Mojo said, I noticed that the docs look like they significantly improved recently. And then Soft isn't software said, yes, I think there is a bit more activity going on in the Office.js teams. And then Mojo said, regarding Excel add-ins, what would it take to get Yeoman to make a Blazor starter? And Software Software said, I think it won't. Yeoman is mostly old school JavaScript development. That is what I hated and tried to move to .NET and Blazor to avoid all the JavaScript package updates each day. I spent more time package updating than building software. Oh, good grief. That does not sound pleasant, nor like a good time. Okay, so anyway, I told you guys what my current change is so that we're not skipping things. Bless you. And added logo text asset asses. Commit. All right, then back on the index page in the footer with this debug button, we're going to have a triple toggle. And this is going to be a nullable bool. We'll do it as a tri-state toggle. I usually have names for this. I don't know why I can't come up with the names off the top of my head. We know we have on. I don't want that to be my default though. I don't want off to be my default either, but I want off to be before on. And my third state is, we'll just call it neither. Neutral. Ooh, thank you. Copilot. I wouldn't have thought of that right now because I don't know why I can't think of that right now. Because I'm thinking about ArcGIS. So the conversation continues. Napalm said to Software, I mean, it's still pretty fast in .NET to just turn on dependbot and cry. Yeah. And then Mojo said to Software, dang, .NET seems so worth it. I'd be doing the Blazor thing if I better understood how to set up from scratch. Your work is helpful though. Yeah, so Software does have a repo that he has referenced. I don't know if it's still available or active, but he has starters essentially for doing add-ins using Blazor. Or at least trials, tests, proof of concepts. Oops. What are you called? Oh, come on. And then this is how we're going to toggle through them. I wonder if it'll let me do multi-line. I don't think so. Yeah, I didn't. We'll try. We'll try, see what happens. This is kind of ugly though. I want something like this. Okay, so if it's tri-state neutral, change it to tri-state off. If it's tri-state off, change it to on. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, change it to neutral. Nice try. So yes, yeah, he actually linked it. Check out the Microsoft samples repo and just clone the Blazor projects. Open. Why are you opening over here? The last browser that I had the focus on should have been this one. Very, very cool. Excel Blazor add-in, Outlook Blazor add-in, Word Blazor add-in. Yeah, I should already be watching this. Although, like, what I would really like is to only watch this folder. Is that a thing? Can I do that? It kind of doesn't make sense because what if this folder gets deleted? But I mean, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and mark it though. And then Mojo said, for sure, will do. I have an immediate use case for POC I'm trying out. And Mojo said, thank you. Soft as in Software said, if I find the time, I'll publish the .NET 8 version that supports Hybrid and Aspire. And Mojo's like, and Aspire? Heart eyes. Frobby frobby. I'm keeping up. It looks like it's working. It didn't break anything, so let's see if it builds. I need to update though the social toggle display. So gosh, here's the other thing that I need then. Did I actually put a partial? Ugh. Whatever. I don't remember why I couldn't put this inside of a hash if debug. Because the element itself, aha, I'll be able to put it in a hash debug here in a second. All right, so private, socials class, string. Socials class is going to be neutral is just going to be empty string, or actually null. So let's go ahead and make this a nullable. Didn't I make you a capital S? This one is going to be the version with no title, and yeah, this one we'll just call other layout. May as well, since I've already styled the other layout. I'll add the no title. So what I should be able to do from here is just use this here, ampersand, then we will have a hash if not debug. I don't know why I put it there because I need all of these together. And then I want all of these in my hash if debug, please. And this social class goes up here, and it's just going to be null. Which again is going to be one of those situations where if we have warnings as errors, this one here is going to be an error because it's assigned but never used. And even if I did it like this, where it's never assigned, then it's still going to be a warning, and then it would break the pipeline build. But it doesn't really matter. Oh, poop. And it does need to be capitalized. Right. But assigned and used, I guess. But the value has never changed, so it's more like a constant. But I'm going to use it here, and this way I don't break the build. But I can easily delete all of these. And as a matter of fact, I am going to... No, I'm not. I'm going to leave that there. Hello, Emporium guy. So many cool people showing up. Hello, TBD. So let's start with shout out from Mojo, because he was first streamer that I know of that talked. And then we'll do we already did Soft as in Software. And then we'll do TBD and Emporium guy. All the amazing cool peoples. Okay. So for our styling for no title, where exactly am I styling the other layout? Right here. Okay. And no title gets this, come on, this, close, basta. But yes, I hope you're doing well today, TBD gamer. I hesitate to ask because I don't want to make you feel pressure either. But maybe you said it on one of your earlier streams, but I missed your stream this morning. I was lurking on your weekend stream, but of course I was very, very, very far away from my computer. But yes, great times. Were you gaming like a degen? Nope, just tired. I was awake at 4 a.m., couldn't sleep, then fell back asleep at 6 a.m. Understandable. Again, I don't want to make you feel guilt or shame or anything over not being able to stream, because that's totally up to you whenever you stream. But I also want you to know that we really, really, really enjoy your streams. It is a treat when we get to watch a stream. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, I think our next cooldown is ready, so here's a shout out for TBD Gamer. I see my bio is outdated. No longer Deloitte. You're no longer... Wait, what does that mean? You're no longer working for Deloitte? Or... Macabus Inc. these days. Aha. As of April, well, congratulations on the job move. Is it one of the reasons that you've gotten more busy lately? But yeah, TBD Gamer, if you guys don't know, is an application developer working on a pretty large platform that has a whole bunch of different technologies in it that are really, really cool, like Kafka and Confluent and GraphQL. But yeah, he says, I feel disappointed because means I'm only like going to get one stream in this week if I can wake my lazy bum up tomorrow. But again, no pressure. If that is motivating for you and it helps you to stick to it because it's something you want to do, then yes, pressure, but I don't want you to feel unnecessary stress for something that you're opting into. I just enjoy your streams. That's all. I work in the US now, remote. Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. I work remote in the US too, but I also live here. To this thing do what I wanted it to do? Yeah, I don't need it. Anything on that. Just social title. Okay, let's see if I broke everything. I broke a thing. God grief. I just need to remove that project. I'm not using the source gen, so it was supposed to be a demo for Thindle to show him how source gens work, and then like the week after, he just went off and learned everything there is to know about source gens. So I kind of stopped doing anything with it. The intention for this source generator, by the way, was so that I can add my icon component, which I think I have here in shared components, so that all I have to do is define an icon in a Razor file, and it would generate for me the icon name enum as well as the get type stuff for that icon so that it's not using reflection. And then whenever I use the icon component, the only thing that that does is renders the appropriate icon based off of the icon name enum. And hello, Violet Dragon. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I always have to sing that. I don't know why. Mojo says, oh dang, to Soften Software. The end. Just oh dang. We're in very similar verticals. Outside of education, we work with finance firms and Excel. And then we're mostly for cert/testing though. And archery is bugged. I thought it would be because the bot hasn't been restarted in a while. So let me restart the bot. You know, I've said it already much times, but this shirt fits you. I really, really appreciate it though. I need to get refreshing. I need to refresh these shirts because like they're very flaky right now. They're eventually going to turn into just plain black t-shirts, which I'm okay with. I'll still wear them, but the graphics on them are degrading very fast. So I'm hoping to find similar ones to the orange one with the big moon and he's standing on the top of that building looking super cool. And then this one. This one gives me not only the nostalgic Dark Knight feel, but also some synthwave feel at the same time. Yeah, I try I try to use shirts that are ironic. You know? Fun fact, I'm actually Batman. I just think he's the coolest. Why aren't you connecting to the Redemption API? Oh dear. I completely broke my bot. All right, stop the service again, please. Start the service. And I did find all of my notes for how to update the Twitch bot. So if I never actually get to the point where we remake the bot, I can just keep updating this one and add the things that I want to add. What happened to my words there? What's going on? It's like having trouble connecting to the database. And yes, I am saying data more often now. Thanks to you. I feel violated. What's going on? Okay, connect with Twitch, which gives us access to the redeems, authorized, and now hop into the chat. Very good. Yay. And now if I turn on studio mode, go to the archery bot, refresh the archery bot, make sure that it's actually here. Hello. It is. Send responses to Twitch chat is checked. And then stop studio mode. Hi Batman, I'm Dukasoft. Just kidding, I didn't watch a single movie from it, but I find him cool. That's cool. Yeah, my favorite was the animated adventures, animated series. Batman the animated series. Anyway, the original Batman cartoon that showed on WB, I want to say. It was around the same time that Gargoyles was airing. So many good shows back then. What happened to them? And Violet Dragon says, I am Batman. I know your Duke is off. You've made a lot of trouble with bad coding. Ooh. Ooh, shots fired. Or something. Hello, Zulius. Speaking of shots fired, we have another shout out for Emporium Guy, another great .NET developer. Check out his streams. I really don't know what you've been working on because I've only been able to lurk on your streams and not really listen or pay attention very much. I mean, the same is kind of true about TBD's streams. It's just that I've been there more often than yours. So, yeah. But I do know that the streams that I've been on have been just very productive and they help me stay focused on what I'm doing. So, yeah, check him out. Way to go after someone. Yeah, this stream is more about, you know, lifting each other up instead of jabbing and poking at each other, but yeah. Emporium Guy is really good at staying on task. I'm envious, says Mojo. Okay. So I told you about what the source generator was supposed to be for, and I'm not using it. I really do need to get rid of it, but it's being referenced in a few places, and I'd have to figure out how to detangle it. You might think why Dukesoft isn't shooting back. It's because he's not going to stoop to your level. Instead, I'll just do underhanded jabs that are intended to be polite way of saying stop picking on people. TVT says, fun fact, if you throw a random technology out at Mojo while he's streaming, you can derail the next 20 minutes while he completely divert. I suggest that he probably needs a focus redeem. Yeah. The thing that I do is I just chat. I just read chat. And it's either read chat or write code. I can kind of do them asynchronously, but most of the time I just focus on chat. I'm not entirely sure I don't need it too. I'm not picking on anyone, just making jokes. Yeah, but that's prodding, picking, poking. He probably programs longer than I live. Now you're calling him old? Oh my goodness. I'm kidding. See? I'm joking too. Ow! My mouse bit me. Mojo says, Drew, I spent 10-ish minutes reading the Office add-in docs on stream. I'm not streaming add-in work though. These are the docs I'm currently reading. Which is really, really dry. User managed versus ArcGIS managed, and it just has to do with where you're hosting your data. And I'm trying to figure out how to get our ArcGIS map. It's a real page turner. water.rma-cloud.com. So what I'm trying to figure out is a good approach for doing all the login things. This map here is the way that they've been updating it is that the ArcGIS person will go into a desktop app called Arc Desktop or Arc Map. There's another program called ArcGIS Pro, which is a desktop application, and I don't know what the difference is between them, so I've been trying to get that working on my computer. Anyway, so they go into that application, they make changes to the map, which updates the geodatabase information, and then they publish it to a file, and then this thing does API calls to that file to get the tiles as you're scanning around. So once it stabilizes, it says fetch the next tiles for the map. There you go. At this level of detail and blah, 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 blah. But the content on this map is contained in that map file. So if they don't update the map file, any changes they make to the geodatabase is not going to be reflected here. The things that will be reflected here are things like the well info that will show up down here. That will show up down here. Add it to the site set. Wow, none of those buttons are working. Why didn't they tell me? Does this work? Add all to site set. Yeah, that works. Why doesn't the pop-up work? But anyway, this information here comes from the database. Thank you. Oh man, I love that sound. Well, it's our Maywater again. More like well. Anyway, so this is live data, up to date. This is whenever they published last, and the last time that they published was probably 2018, 2019. I didn't want to spam. Spam, glorious spam. Anyway. So the point is trying to make it so that they can update the database and have this map updated, but at the same time they want a button essentially that says first, preview essentially the changes that are going to be made and then confirm that those changes should be pushed. So it's like, how exactly do I handle versioning in the ArcGIS database stuff? How do maybe I will just have them publish to a file, but find a way to use the API to do it so that they can take the current data in the database and then push a button to create the file and then publish to the folder that it's supposed to be in and then pull the information. And Mojo, I think I just got it in an update. Maybe. Perhaps. I think it might be updated. I hope it's updated. I need to push a button. No, it's still saying the delivery address is not on file. That sounds like a feature being introduced because people make mistakes often. It's actually more of a people can't even publish the map because they don't know how to. And so it's a feature to make publishing maps easier for one, and for two, I guess just that, making publishing the map easier. Done counting. There are a lot. Thanks for holding it still. Well, here's more. Because we have stuff that are wells that are on the arsenal, on the refuge, and then wells that are in the city. I could see my house from here. But if you ever are in the Denver area, any hot tub wells, probably. I'm sure you could find one. If you ever are in the Denver area, I do recommend a drive around the arsenal. The trail takes you, where does it take you? It takes you like this way. And then back down here. Yeah. So straight across this way. And then up through here. And then left through here. And then down through here. And there are burrowing owls and tons and tons of prairie dogs. 1,000 different types of birds and deer and buffalo. and wildlife. It's really cool. It's a really, really, really cool place to see. In the wild. Mojo said, TBD is right, but what he didn't tell you is that he deployed an Aspire app to Kubernetes this weekend. I'd like to take a small percentage of responsibility for this. Would you like credit for it? Did he give you accreditation for the idea? I think I'm using that term wrong. Accreditation. What map package do you use for that? So it is purely the ArcGIS JavaScript plugin or API. Developer.arcgis.com, I think. Developers.arcgis.com. SDKs and APIs. The .NET one only works on desktop. And ArcGIS REST JavaScript. So essentially taking the oh gosh, it's so hard to get to their objects. I don't really remember how to get to the objects. How do I get to the list? It's got to be here. This just looks so different than the one that I used. Okay, so like what? Yeah, I'm looking for a feature, for example. So yes, this is the API that I had to use. Almost all of the code existed before I got here, and I lifted and shifted. It was in the Java application as JavaScript, so I didn't make too many changes to it. But what I did do was wrapped components, Blazor components around it, and then had JavaScript interop using isolated JavaScript calls to it, so that each component essentially has its own JavaScript file or TypeScript file that transpiles to JavaScript and performs all of the functions so that you can just do Blazor. I guess I can show it. Again, things that I really, really love to show because these are more interesting than doing UI. I guess while I'm waiting, I want to make sure that this does work. So if we toggle our triple state, this one turns off. Oh, what happened to the... social links toggle? Oh, it's up here. Okay, so we're looking at this class up here. No class, no title is not actually applying the social title display none for some reason. And it's probably because the CSS didn't compile. No title. Footer content, social links, social title display none. All right, we'll figure that out in a second. RMA water. Loading. Mojo said to me, I don't see that the address was fixed, but I expect it to happen before it leaves the current location or before it leaves the main FedEx distro in your state. I used to, he also says, I used to manage 100 of shipments a day, and if push comes to shove, I'll call my old FedEx rep. He's broken rules for me before. I think it'll be fine. Everything's gonna work out just fine. And then Mojo said to TBD, he's right, be sure to add me as a footnote or put me in your commit history. Also, I don't know, it took me so long to realize that President Not Sure is an Idiocracy reference. For many months, I've been asking myself, why does that sound familiar? And TBD said to Mojo, you shall forever be immortalized just as soon as I make a repository out of the project. Once you fix effective Blazor development in Aspire. Ooh, shots fired to Blazor. At least he wasn't picking on anyone. Just Blazor. Something's gotta work. No. Okay. Do I only have it in this repo? I do. Okay, so here are my components. And right now I'm only really using 2 of the components aside from map. And map I'm just doing via JavaScript directly, where I have a map, div element with an ID map, and then I'm populating it using the JavaScript var map or const map equals new map with this extent, these properties, and then view scene view, I think. Yeah, I make a view, tell it that it's going to be in hashtag div or hash map. Anyway, hashtag map. You know what I mean. But the components themselves are load the isolated JavaScript. No. Okay, well, I had plans to do that. Hello? Client. API client. Oh, the API client itself is the one that I put in isolated JavaScript. And that is just an API service. But I'm sure that I did a JavaScript interop. Here it is. Yeah, so this is isolated and isolated to this class, but still global to the project, I guess. So not truly an isolated JavaScript thing where it lives with the component. It lives with this module instead. And it just calls all of the JavaScript functions, which I could have sworn I moved over to TypeScript. Wow. Lied about that too. But yeah, there you have it. That's how the map currently works. TBD said to Mojo, "You shall forever be immortalized." I read that. Then Mojo said, "That's Deflux's job. Don't forget I said Angular would work better." And then Mojo said, "My work laptop now won't boot in Windows or Linux." You fixed it real good, says DVD. Okay, so why isn't the second one applying? My guess is that the new CSS didn't apply with the new rule. So I'm Control F5 and there it goes. Okay, whoever suggested getting rid of the social names and just leaving it with the icons only, I think it looks a lot better this way. I like it a lot. And I do like it vertical as opposed to horizontal, either on top or on bottom. We'll see what the designer says. All right, so there we go. We're at the point where we can now do all of the responsive stuff. We started looking at the one article that I keep crediting Dukasoft for, and he's like, "That wasn't me," which is part of the thing that spawned the whole why accreditate crediting. I don't know where that went. Is it still open? It went away. Hello, 8 bits per play. Shout out to 8 bits per play. Fantastic streams lately. 8 bits per play is a game dev. He's recently started on ideating for a new game that's going to be kind of like Toy Factory horror game focused type thing, kind of the same vibes as Five Nights, except that you are going to play as a Jack in the Box, at least for now. This is the beginnings of the ideas. It could change at any moment. You play as a Jack in the Box, and this is like World War era toys that were abandoned, and something happened to where demonic forces took over all of the toys, but not all of the toys were possessed. And so yeah, there's a lot to it. If you're interested in hearing more about it, I definitely recommend checking out his stream. He's just coming up with a whole bunch of ideas, and he's like, one thing that I haven't seen very many game developers do with their games or with their game process, development process, is the design part. So he's starting off showing off, here's how I'm brainstorming, here's how I'm collecting images and stuff for mood boards, and just coming up with ideas for the game and how it should go. And he's also been listening to feedback as well, so you can help co-create for free, of course. Okay. Yeah. So he said, I noticed there is not that much design being done live now either. It was honestly really fun. Yeah, it was really cool to watch and participate in. I probably won't be participating in that heavily again, because it is the middle of my workday when you stream, and I have quite a few things that I want to get done for work. But I will still chime in on occasion. You do. Oosh. And oosh. All right. So, I'm going to save that and just do another small commit that is updated debug styles for socials. And we're going to continue on. So I wanted to find that document that said it is the 100% correct way. To do CSS breakpoints. So what we did last stream was I skimmed through this, and then I took what I think are the breakpoints that he's suggesting and put them into this Sass file as Sass variables. Oh no, that was the first one, and it says this is not a good idea. Instead, use these. And what I don't like is that there, this is one of the things that I appreciate, I guess, but I just don't like. Here's some code snippets, because when people read things like this, they're like, what's the bottom line? I'm here to find out what the correct breakpoints I should be using are. Oh, look, code. That must mean this is the answer for what I'm looking for. Copy, pasta. And instead, this looks like code that is intended to show what not to do. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? And the answer is because I want to explain the process of picking breakpoints and why these are the right breakpoints. I mean, the title of this article is the 100% correct way to do CSS breakpoints in 2016. It should have that added to it because things are probably different now. Oh god, that is some rough snippets for CSS breakpoints. Honestly, that needs to be something revisited for teaching. Most tutorials don't mention the use of container queries. Container queries as in, I actually don't know what container queries are. I am very interested to know. So when the container size, which is the window plus any non-client area. Yeah, you say they make them easier, but how? Because now we are actually in the point where we want to implement it and we don't want the theory of this thing makes things easier, so use it. We want to actually use it now. So why is it easier? Why does it make it easier? Why does it, yeah, and how to use, I guess. So it looks like they have the same thing as viewport. You have container query width, container query height, inline size, block size, the minimum of the inline size versus block size, the maximum of inline size versus block size. And what browsers is it supported on? Container queries are user-defined. You can define a single HTML element as a container, so children adjust based on the parent and not the web page. Okay. Oh no, there's no IE support. Actually, the one that is kind of bad is no, well, I guess Opera Mini I don't care about. Safari, good. Android browser, I don't use the Android browser. I don't see Brave on here anywhere. I'm just trying to think of all of the browsers that might be used for this. I guess the thing that really matters is that it does work in Chromium browsers because it's also gonna, since it's a Maui app as well, I'm targeting all of the, or that I can't think of, platforms. All right, so containers are user defined. You can define a single HTML element as a container. So imagine this, you have a dual pane page. Left pane is nav menu, right side is a menu context. You can declare the nav bar and the main content as two different containers. So you have the nav bar content change when the nav bar size is adjusted, not the page size, but it also takes care of the page size adjustments at the same time. That sounds like it's more complicated to set up, so I don't see how that makes it easier. I can definitely see how your relative units are to the container, and I love that. So in my site, if I made the center, whatever distance this is, so like for every single one of my sections, so main would be a container, one of my containers, and then each section or article, no, each section would be a container as well. And then my units for the elements inside of it would be relative to the size of that container. For my breakpoints specifically. So like I'm here. Yeah, let's look at the header, for example. If I use a breakpoint of viewport width, yeah, I just don't see how. So it's more not meant to fully get rid of checking page size, but is meant also to help as an additive feature to complement it for more control. Okay, so that makes more sense. Instead of replacing your media queries, or I don't know, it kind of seemed like you're still replacing your media queries. No. Using in conjunction with. See, this is what's hard for me on stream, is reading something new, like brand new to me. Because I will skip over so many details. Yeah, okay, so this says container queries are an alternative to media queries. Again, that word alternative, it could just be misused, but it sounds like one or the other, not both. Container queries, you need to declare containment context on an element so that the browser knows you might want to query the dimensions of this container later. To do so, you use container type property, size, inline size, normal. Size is on the inline and block dimensions of the container, applies layout style and size containment to the container. Inline size will be based on the inline dimensions of the container. And then normal, the element is not a query container for any container size queries, but remains a query container for container style queries. Yeah, so it would be like if I had a container on body. So if I made body a container, then that would be my top level media query for if viewport size is greater than, less than, whatever. And then each of these containers. So if my header's width, so my header is a container, if my header's width shrinks to less than 1009, then change font size of stuff in a container query. And that way, I still have my full page breakpoints for changing the layout of my main layout or my application itself. But my font sizing and my layout for header would be handled specifically in the container query for header. All right, we can try that. It still seems like I would need to define more breakpoints, because now we're talking breakpoints that are specific to containers too. You can also have it replace text with icons. That was where I was going for the nav bar. It can still be used to switch out labels with icons. Yeah, I mean, anything you can do in CSS. It's just that container query is localized to whatever container you're trying to query. And you can name each container and then you can query that specific container. Ooh, here's something that I need to know then, since I am going to be using that. It sounds like something beneficial. Is when I query a specific container, such as in sidebar, is this now relative to sidebar? So a dot card class in sidebar, or is this when the sidebar's min width reaches or is at 700 or above, when its width is at 700 or above, all cards in the application now have a font size of 2ems. Let's do some testing to find out. All right, and 8bits is saying you can also have it replace text with icons. I said that, I read that. And then do note, depending on your page layout and your end goal, you might not need to think about container queries at all. Just thought I would bring it up, just in case you think it might help your case. I do think it might help my case. Because there would be things happening to the header at different breakpoints than the regular media queries, than the regular page sizes. Like when exactly do I turn from a full header to a hamburger header to one that has the icon end title or only the icon or all that? So these here. Although the designer did give these to us at these specific breakpoints. So this is what it looks like from this size up until this size. And then this is what it looks like from this size up until this size. Change the hamburger when hungry. So all the time for me. Ow. That's what I get for smiling. My mouth is so dry, my lip caught on it. Ow. I've forgotten how to use bottles. If you see my lip swelling, just ignore it. I was assaulted by a bottle. We get a dad joke. 2 of them for the price of 1. Where does Fonzie like to go for lunch? Chick-fil-A. You already told us that one, Suribot. Don't you know other ones? And then Dukasoftbot came up with a better one. How can you tell a vampire has a cold? They start coughing. Marcus said, "Hi, Marcus. I saw that you streamed this weekend, but I wasn't able to catch it. Oh, sad. So sad." Brings meaning to the saying, "Don't smile, your face might crack." Exactly. I didn't know that that was a saying, but yeah. My lip caught on my teeth, and then it tried to split open, and then I smashed the lip of my bottle against my lip. I got good hand-eye coordination. Boy, I tell you what. So true. Isn't that the best? Truth. So yeah, I guess here is one of the issues with my structure. Since it's a Blazor app, this is .NET 7 still, so it's not using the .NET 8 template, but we have the body, which we get for free with a DOM, with a regular HTML document. And then the first element in it is the element that the Blazor app loads into, which is a div with an ID of app. And then inside of that, I have my wrapper for the layout. So this is the thing that gets the layout applied to it. Then inside of there is where I have the top bar, the main content, and then normally I have the footer outside of the main content if it's a sticky footer, but I put it inside of the main content here instead. So then inside of main content, I have my article with header, section, footer. And I don't know if this really makes sense to have an article since it's the only content inside of main content. And so it really is just a header and 2 sections and a footer. But think I saw a diagram for semantic HTML regions. That had, oh, interesting. Yeah, I think that I'm inverting main and article, but at the same time, this one has them the other way too. Like main to me seems like the main section of whatever its container is. And so if you have an article, then the main is the main content part of that article, as opposed to here's the main part of your layout with an article inside of it, because then it sounds like you should have a main inside of there with asides. So not sure if this link works. Links definitely work here, but here's the page with documentation about how containers isolate children. That's a lot of reading. I will definitely read that. We are going to go ahead and start trying to use containers, and I will do, although, I mean, if you can point me to the section for the answer that I was asking about, which is if we use a container name and query, do the styles apply to only the elements in that container or all elements? Oh, the very first sentence. And I always skip over the first sentence. Container queries enable you to apply styles nested within a specific container based on the features of that container. The query returns true or false depending on whether the container's condition is true. So this line would lead us to believe that it will only affect the elements inside of that container. Hello, Deflux. Yeah, .NET 9 is almost here, so maybe we'll be upgrading this app to .NET 9 instead of .NET 8. But we're going to do that as soon as we get these media queries and container queries done. So let's start with the media queries by themselves. The reason that I want to do that is because it affects the whole app. And then we can focus on things like the container queries for the track transactions section, which has these cards that are going to flip to vertical, but maybe at different breakpoints than the full page media queries, they change their font size or image max size, all of the above. So for now, we just need the overall media queries to change from our horizontal layout, essentially, to our columnar layout, and resize these pictures-ish. Yeah, it's kind of scary for me to want to use container queries if it means that the breakpoints for when the images change size or the font changes size on the page would be different for each container. Like, I know that I could write a rule that tells each container to change their size, but I would prefer to do that in a media query. Anyway, we'll see what we get. So let's get started. We have these SAS variables defined for the breakpoints. The reason that we aren't going to also define in our root a custom CSS property, such as in breakpoint small, which there's going to be errors on this one because I don't have it inside of a rule and it doesn't like it just being out here like that. P small. The reason that I don't have this, just go ahead and do it so it doesn't complain. Followed by an at media, screen and width BP small is because CSS custom properties don't work in media query conditions, at least from what I found. So if I wanted to update this value later on and say, I don't know, I want my smol to be different based off of the device that you're using. So I define that in root, and I do media, and then I say that it's a mobile device or a tablet. Then I want different breakpoints, and I update those based off of the CSS custom property. That's not actually going to update the media query. So instead we stick with it's essentially a constant value that's going to be defined in one place, since I'm going to be using it all over the place. For example, in here. So we're going to start at the very bottom, a max width of BP smol. Then the next breakpoint is going to be a min width of whatever's next. What order do I have these in? Medium and large. I only have 3. Yeah, okay, so these should all just be min. That's weird that I only have 3. Is that really what this thing gave us? For our 100% correct way? I don't think so. I really, really need to read this. That's what the answer is. But hi, Deflux, how have you been? I hope all is well. Forget about CSS, forget about web development, forget about digital, go back to kindergarten. And I don't want to go back to my school days. I just want to know the information. Dealing with magic string after magic string, that does not sound, but it sounds fun to clean up. I do love cleaning things up like that. Are you actually at a point where you're able to replace the usage of magic strings? Maybe we should do less magic strings. And they say, no, we love magic strings. Sorry, I missed that. Asked again. You already answered. You gave a great answer on that. I love cynicism, but I don't like cynicism like this. This article is really hard for me to want to read. I'd rather go and read the Microsoft docs that 8bits gave us. Or not the Microsoft docs, MDN, web docs, Mozilla docs. Yeah, exactly, 8bits. Like, the easiest way, as long as you aren't using, well, gosh. There are 2 easy ways to replace magic strings. Number 1 is replace your magic strings with an enum, and then you can .toString and get the same string back, albeit without the spaces. Or use a static class with consts, or any class with consts. But use const and replace them all with const. And only ever use the variables. Okay. Stop being a resistant to this author's approach. What's funny is there's a guy that retired and he used consts, but that was like the last record. No. Yeah, I could proceed to show you the correct breakpoints and leave it at that. Yes, please. But I find it very curious that the above method, silly grouping, is so widespread. Why should that be? I think the answer to this problem, like many problems, comes down to line terminology. After all, waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay sounds super rad if you don't know what either of those things are. Oh, I wish that was my joke. I think we mix up boundaries and ranges in our discussions and implementations of breakpoints. Okay. Tell me, if you have breakpoints in SAS, do you have a variable called large that is, say, 768? Yes. Tell me how I should name these instead then. Is that the lower boundary range of the range you refer to as large, or the upper boundary? If it's the lower, then you must have no small because that should be 0, right? And if it's the upper, then how would you define a breakpoint large and up? That must be a media query with a min width of medium. Sound right? Not really. I do small, which is everything up to small. So I guess small max. And with no min, then that means everything this and below. Everything from 0 to this is small. Dude, I saved. And then min, and then max. For the next one, min, and then max. Aha. And then that's what that would be. BP extra large min, and then everything from this on up is extra large. Preach. Oh, 8 bits per play said magic strings have become more of a problem after certain JavaScript libraries became more popular with computing certain value types from magic strings. Note this statement is meant for web dev side of things. For game development, I still see magic strings today too often. Unity, I am looking at you and your bloody animation parameter tracking and layers and collision meshes and but there are definitely approaches that are industry standard for not using magic strings. And then also naming an int component. An int component should be illegal in Blazor. What is an int component? I was thinking of using const for roots in Blazor. Have you considered? I don't think I was ever able to because of the syntax for the page directive. I have considered. Yeah, I still don't know what that would be. Int component equals 5. What would that refer to? So let's go to our transaction history page. I'm going to define it here, but I know that it would be in a different file for all of my page routes, my possible page routes, probably in a static class called page routes. I put at page, at code. Page title. No, I meant page route, whatever, who cares? What are you angry about? Oh, I need to type. I've forgotten how to write code. So that's bad syntax. That's bad syntax. And that is bad syntax. And then this is the literal @_page title. And even if I tried to do string interpolation, then it's still going to be angry. Are you angry because I have a slash here? Yeah, so I don't think that that's possible. Maybe if you set up your routes using code, if there's a way to do that at all, but I don't know that that's possible. So Unity implementation was made over 10 years ago, if that helps explain why. Yeah, I mean, even then you could imagine people. Well, I guess, I mean, strings would be cheaper than creating a reference to a string and then using that reference. Even though in early compilers, if you compiled a const, it would be like using the string literal. So I don't know. We just didn't think about it until much later. Zulia said, is the Unity part due to Java-like implementation of enums? Maybe. And then that was where 8-Bit's response was. Implementation was made over 10 years ago. And then Zulia said, yeah, I know their C# implementation lags behind a lot, but last time I really looked into Unity was a few years ago. And even then, I didn't look too deeply into the differences to current.net. And TBD's going to meeting. You have a great rest of your meeting. Ciao for now. Again, check out TBD Gamer if you do get the opportunity. Fantastic streams when he wakes up in time and feels like streaming. He woke up in time today, he just didn't feel like streaming. Which is, man, that came out sounding like a dig, which was not a dig. It was an observation. And Deflux is of course going to take it like I'm digging at him. It was a statement about what happened this morning. Okay, we are trying to add breakpoints to this. So my overall media queries. Yeah, this is where I'm kind of. I really need to make a decision on where to put the media queries. And then I know where to put the container queries, which is in the Blazor component that has those elements that are going to be serving as the containers. But the media queries themselves that affect the entire layout, it would make sense for me to put them in layout. So for example, here, the issue is that I would be providing all of the styling information for the child components inside of layout here if this was the only place that I put the media queries. And that's what is motivating me to want to put the media queries in the components as well for the ones that are affected by size changes. By viewport size changes. Same to you. Hello, Peter. Napalm said, so I learned something crazy to me. I'm messing with Microsoft Orleans, which was crazy because Ruben, who I think worked on the Orleans team, was in here and I had no idea who he was and what he was talking about. And I had just watched a video on it and I'm like, the shame of it all. Anyway, there is no good way to have two actor clusters for high availability. Multi-cluster capabilities were removed after the initial version and Microsoft hasn't solved this. You would have to manually sync yourself, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of using an actor framework. And just so you know, I have no idea what any of that means, but thank you for sharing. You're always welcome to share, even if it's way above my head. And then Peter said to Napalm, my dev is exploring both Akinet and Proto Actor, and they have problems with clustering. Problem anytime we deploy, which takes down specific nodes. Also, I am here secretly. Tell no one. Telling no one. Ever. At all. And then Napalm responded, the docs tell you Microsoft Orleans at least is for single data center use. And then he said, my mouth kind of dropped. And Peter said, but I am told there is a solution, and it seems crazy that an established framework, Akinet, would have these problems. And Napalm said, Microsoft Orleans, the solution is wait for Microsoft to have multi-cluster issue been open for 2 years, or manually sync state with a mechanism I build myself. Peter says, good luck. It all sucks. And then Napalm responded, honestly, it's for a side project I'm thinking of saying to hell with it. Oh, the pains we put ourselves through just to use new technology. Actually, the technology that we think is intended to be used for the situation that we are doing. So it's not always just because it's new technology and we're exploring it, but because we've heard that this is what we should be using. And then we try using it, and then it's like, is this really worth it? Thank you so much for the sub. Oh my gosh. You used your Prime sub on this channel? Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. You definitely are under no obligation to sub. I'm sure you know that. And I do appreciate when you do. But thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Snobble says, I don't listen to what people say I should be using anymore. Yeah, you just tell everyone to use outdated technology because it's fun, which is fine. Again, everything that I say, like, I'm trying to do a better job of listening to the way that I sound when I say things, and everything sounds like a dig. So I apologize for that. Yeah, I apologize for it. That's all. And Napalm said, I mean, if I just build traditional microservices and a global data center that can go to as many damn data centers as I want, oh, global data store that can go to as many damn data centers as I want. And Snobble says, also, I'm a game dev now, programming in COBOL, Shaderling, Hazel, HSL, HS8, whatever it is. Then Peter said, sounds good as long as you are using Kubernetes and a heavy service mesh. Joking, don't ban me. Oh man. Deflex said, I will say the stream did greatly improve when you went from having no mic to having a mic. Random, but thank you. And then Apom said, please ban live coding for suggesting service mesh. The bad man needs to stop. Mommy, make him stop. Is he bullying you? We're gonna have to time you out with a warning first. Service mesh is ban worthy, to be fair. No more cyberbullying. So Snobble said, we released Minesweeper game in less than 4096 bytes, which I saw, definitely saw, but here it is. It's beautiful. And it's crazy that this is under 4 kilobytes. or around 4 kilobytes. With all of this stuff going on in the background, the shading, everything. They got second in the competition. Oh no. Dukasoft is bringing out the hammer. I ban anyone that says the word cluster. I guess I should be banned now. There is music too, but I don't have this browser hooked up, and it would take me too much effort. I don't have this browser hooked up to sound, but it's really cool. Everyone can definitely check out the link and hear the music too. Oh, you're just letting everyone know. Then there you go. Who knew distributed computing is hard? It all sucks. Yeah, that's really cool though. I really like it. Oh, and the animations, right. I forgot to say the animations. Marcus says, certainly looks more modern than the original version on Windows. Oh, come on, work. I fixed you. I fixed you. Why aren't you working? Manual game. It's frozen again, is why. Refresh. Manual game. Q Archer. Shoot. Shoot harder. Oh, it's way up there. I wasn't even looking at where the target is. Whatever. Too high. Okay. Habanero, Dukasoft. Habanero. I mean, how about now? Nothing. All you get is darkness. I mean, the bot is listening. Frozen, but I wanted to play archery, not Frozen. I don't know what happened. It's not listening to the redemptions. Welcome. And the source code is here. Go over here. I don't know why archery is broken. Hewitt, nothing. Is it Automated Realms? No. Automated Realms did come up with a generated message. What? Reset history. You're a thing, Manual Archer 1. Come on. Nada. Wow. I broke it. I broke it all. That's sad. Okay, what chat did I miss? Peter said to Dukasoft, I cyberbully everyone apparently. And then Marcus's comment, and then Snobble's comment saying that here's the source code, not clean code, I guarantee. Let's just take a glance. Start here. The header file for the CPP Minesweeper, probably the main game. Unless this is just like the all of it. What other CPP files do you have? Nothing. Just the one game. I can read this. Back in 1834, I think it was, I was doing C++. I mean, it reads very much like modern programming languages, so it's not too hard to understand what it's doing. And then here are some manual assembly optimizations. Look at that. That's crazy. I'm sure it was strewn above, or everywhere above. I would never. Great year, though. Did someone summon me with assembly? It was Snobble. To be fair, I didn't save much on using assembler. But you did save some. So the overall output to assembly file is 4037 bytes. No. And that was specifically music. Whoops. But yeah, that's really, really cool. I hope you enjoyed working on it. It looks like you had fun. And if we recall, oh, I added some text to the title bar, so I think the last version is 4060 bytes. Oh no, how dare! You went over 4 kilobytes. For something that if we did in Unity would have a minimum 2 gigabyte file size and made look exactly the same and play the same. I kid. I have no idea what the smallest file size would be, but you know what I mean. It's very impressive, is what I'm trying to say. So my question here was, do I still split up all of my media queries into their respective components? So in this case, I wouldn't do like all cards or anything with media queries. I would do index.razor.sass and give it media queries, as well as main layout, as well as transaction.razor.sass. It would get a file. Actually, no, it would be transaction history. No, it would be this transaction history wrapper, because I would need to change the way that the history grid displays on this page specifically. And then the same with data entry. So I would essentially have media query definitions. Oops, wrong one. It's not my clipboard anymore. I would have this repeated on multiple pages, multiple SAS files. And so is that better than having all of them here and needing each page individually defined in main layout, each page's responsive layout? And I'm leaning toward having the media queries in each component. I'm going with it. Oh, I came up here so that I could add the reference. Excuse me. Can I have this? Okay, thanks. So let's do it. Then, enough talking. Decision made. Let's start with the main layout. Is anything going to change in the main layout based off of media queries? We have a layout of grid, I believe. It's either grid or flex with flex column. It's grid. And it has two areas, which are the top bar and main content. And I don't think that I am going to override any of these in media queries. It will always be one column, two rows, auto for the header, one FR for the content. So we can get rid of these. One less. No, I did not say one left. Then in index, how am I going to break this up? I had a thought that I should break up index into each of these sections being their own components, and maybe just having a component called section. But that doesn't make sense because the content is going to take up the same amount of space no matter what. Like, what I would do is have a section and have a header render fragment, which would allow you to put in whatever content you want for the header. I don't think subtitle would even be a thing. Everything else would just be child content or main body content. Yeah. So it wouldn't save me anything to make a separate component. What would be different is if I made a component called track transactions section. So like if I have and I'm going to go ahead and do it just to see if I like it. We can always undo. And I'm going to call it main page components. Did I spell that correctly? Track transactions section. Come on. Arigato momichi. Partial. I don't think this even needs a code behind file, but I put it there. I'm looking for index. Has anyone seen index? Do you have anything that requires... this will have an on-click event. And it's going to be the same on-click event as... Wait, did I get both? Oh. What? Oh, because I collapsed it. It's the same on-click event that this button is going to have. This button here is going to have. I'm still going to see what it looks like. Oh, yeah. Maybe. We'll see. Track transactions section. Pasta. And it's not angry at anything. So that we do this one step at a time, I will go ahead and add the track transactions section here. Why aren't you organizing my my usings? Because it's a Razor file, and I don't do good with organizing usings in Razor files. Oh, okay, I guess that's a good answer. Okay, then the next one is going to be our, oh, wait, one thing at a time, I said. We're going to also make sure that our styles still apply to that section. And the way that I'm going to do that is find my styles that apply to section view transaction history specifically. Wait, this is track transactions, not view transaction history. Is that the name of that? Section track transactions, yeah. So there is nothing that applies specifically to track transactions. However, now that it's a subcomponent of index.razor.sas, the only way that we can target it is by using : deep, which is going to make our compiled CSS file twice, double all of this stuff, because now it needs to do it for section by itself and then do all of the same rules for : deep section. And that way we don't lose our styles, and I'm going to make sure that we haven't lost our styles. And it didn't. Control F5? It still didn't. Oh gosh. That's probably going to be more trouble than it's worth. Okay, here's what I will do though. I will still break out the components because I do want this as wait. I do still want this to be a thing. Oops. You too, 8 bits. I will be stopping my stream anyway in like 2 minutes. Or less than 2 minutes, actually. But I also want this in its own component is what I'm trying to get at. So, you, Shift F2. What was the name of this other section? View transaction history. View transaction history section. Razor, SCS, Razor, SCSS. No! Are you still gonna work even though I forgot to close the parentheses? It did work. That's surprising. Here's your content. Save that. Tell this thing we want to eventually replace this with view transaction history section. And I think it's just angry that I have : deep section as a comma. So section, comma, : deep section here. And the only way that I would be able to get it to work is if I only did : deep section, which should work now. If I went back to index and I commented all this out instead. Hello, Clayman. Nice timing desu. I was hanging out in your stream all morning. Well, morning for me, but you've been doing so much work on Epic Hero Game lately. Yes, definitely give a shout out to Clayman Dev, fantastic game dev, entertainer, and all around good person. If you get the chance, check out his game and see it on Steam. I don't think that I have a command. I'm terrible at this. I'm a terrible person. I'm not as supportive as I should be. And you send us your Steam link. Actually, you know what? Steam. He is working towards getting fully demo ready, unless you've already done that part and I'm so far behind. Epic Hero Game. Play for partner. Are we doing a partner push for Clay next? Share. Share. Copy. Okay, here's the link to Epic Hero Game on Steam. Give it a look. When you go there, it's going to open up in your browser. All right, estimated release date July 2058. It feels like it just keeps getting delayed. Completely understandable. I mean, you've been working really, really hard on this on your own, and gosh, just so much to it already. But it's going to be so much fun to play. So good. Thank you, Dukasoft. Oh my gosh, you are the best, Dukasoft. Has anyone ever told you? But yeah, check it out. Wishlist it. Get him some more visibility. And hang out on his stream. It's so much fun there. I usually don't talk. It's another one of those streams that I don't talk on, but I'm almost always there. Write a haiku about how great Twitch chat moderators are. A Twitch chat moderator. They keep the peace, ensuring all users' voices are heard and harmony increases. Chris are appreciated, he says. But we're at that part of my stream where we are ending because I got to get back to work too. I have a full day of ArcGIS stuff. Here's a haiku about how great Twitch chat moderators are using heavy alliteration. A Twitch chat moderator. They keep the peace, and it gave you the same thing. That's not alliteration. He's like, no. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Super nice of you. We're going to raid out to a good friend of ours, everyone's good friend, Big Gamey. I'm sure you're all already following him. You all already know him. And he's been streaming all day. He's continuing the game that he was doing for the game jam that he was hosting. And it just looks fun. But we're going to head over there and hang out with him for the rest of his stream. And maybe catch Irish John's stream. after that, or Instafluff, or Dragon Spirit, or Settlix, or Code Red, all of the amazing peoples that are on Twitch, part of this community, and just you're all amazing. That's all. So as far as the project is concerned, if you're interested in seeing any of the code that we were working on stream, check it out here. We're in a branch right now. I think there's only one branch active anyway, so shouldn't be too hard to find. If you ever feel like hanging out on our Discord, you're welcome to. No requirements in order to be able to participate as part of the community, especially if you already have way too many Discords you're a part of and it's just too much work. Too much noise. But ours is really laid back. We have a bunch of really cool people. And I will be back again on Wednesday for more UI dev stuff that we've been working on. And yeah, it'll be great. Ciao for now. Juice.